Chioma Ikejani. Today on AMOI Unplugged, we're going to be speaking with Professor Haruna at Naseni, and he's going to be talking about some of the practical steps that he's taken to enhance the economic growth in Nigeria. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with AMOI Unplugged, exploring diversity. First of all, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule and sitting with us as we look at diversification within the Ministry of Science and Technology. What is the mandate of Naseni?
Yes.
What exactly is your prior mandate and objective?
Okay. The mandates of Naseni is in the area of research, development, production of capital goods and services for the country. In other words, Naseni is established in the shape and models of its sister organization elsewhere in the world to guarantee development of local capacity and capability to do research, to produce local products such that the company can be self-reliant, not to continue importing engineering and scientific goods and services. With the belief that it is only through this that true industrialization can come up. It is the belief of the founding fathers of Naseni that importation of main equipment and machines into the country in order to run the industries cannot lead to true industrialization. But there must be local capacity for local know-how and how to produce tools, machine and equipment that the country needs appropriately.
How does science and technology, specifically in Nigeria, how important is it to spearheading the growth of the Nigerian economy?
This is a very interesting question. Unfortunately, this is what is yet to be understood in Nigeria. Priority is not given to science and technology, and all the problems we are encountering year in, year out, the economic recessions we have been suffering at one time or the other, the security challenges, social problems, even poverty are products of lack of giving priority to science, technology, and innovation. Because whatever we are using, whatever we are consuming, whatever we need for the comfort of everyone in the country, be it transportation, communication, electricity, water supply, everything you look at, including the clothes we wear, are imported. So no country can be consumer and import dependent and be able to solve all these problems. Of course, there is a good policy, well articulated, well strategized, but implementation has always been inconsistent. And the problem we're facing today is lack of paying attention and ensuring implementation of the acts of the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure. In fact, when we have little attention, like we are having with the current administration, you see new products, new innovations coming up.
Let me just be more specific. So, is it fair to say that there is a political will with the Buhari-led administration for spear growth using science and technology as industrialization? I'd like you to talk a little bit about that.
In fact, we are proud and we are happy, we are motivated, we are supported by the current administration through the leadership of our Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, who consistently is preaching that it is science, technology, and innovation that should drive the economy, and the President is listening and is giving support let me jump and announce to you that Naseni has never received the kind of funding support that we are receiving now.
Wow.
We have never received it. In fact, in 1 year, I'm not saying it's adequate. It's still a drop in the ocean.
But it's better than.
It's better, yes, because in 2017, allocation to Naseni, for example, is more than 5 years cumulative put together before it. So really, we are receiving attention, and because of the belief of Mr. President that science, technology, and innovation should be given appropriate attention. When boards and parastatals are proposed, President rightfully accepts to remain the chairman of Naseni as provided for in the Act.
Can you comment on the new policies and programs that have been initiated either by the agency or the board with the aim of effectively utilizing science, technology, and innovation in Nigerians' development process in supporting the Buhari diversification efforts?
The current administration has actually incorporated science, technology, and innovation as part of the processes of economic recovery and growth plan. It is science and technology innovation is incorporated as one of the ways of means in which the economic diversification of Nigeria can be achieved. And I am telling you, the government understood that. It is only through this method that there can be sustainability of anything that is achieved. For instance, I have briefed you earlier that our power production process, government is doing everything possible to improve power. But we said, until the means of achieving self-reliance or increasing power generation, transmission, and distribution is local, is own, until there is substantial local content, any success achieved is temporary. So from renewable energy or solar production and component and installation that we are doing, supported by the current administration, we are also manufacturing small hydro turbines so that you can have small generators of smaller capacity at different rivers, because power can only be stable if you decentralize its operation. The generation, you must have what we call distributed generations at different places. In a small rural village and town, they don't need to be on the grid. Provide them what they need. So this is a policy that is pursued vigorously. In education, we are strengthened to do more. Previously, Naseni used to produce only primary and secondary science kits. But now, up to tertiary institution, up to university, is increased. We are producing, we are innovating locally. Sometimes we reverse engineer other people's product with their permission.
Walk me through some of the products that your agency has produced and commercialized from 2015 to date.
Now, our solar research and development has matured into development of prototype, into producing of solar panel that has been tested, satisfied, and that is of highest quality. Now, in 2015, we see government approval to convert that manufacturing facilities into limited liability company. The reason is that we have been looking for investors to come and take this technology to the market, but they have not seen it anywhere, because in West African region, where it is the only one of its type, no one is doing this production we are doing.
Of solar panels in West Africa.
Exactly. Not only that, even in other parts of Africa, where we know it has been in South Africa, in Egypt by Siemens. These factories are being converted to the production of glass and other glass products instead. But now, truly indigenous. Even if you see manufacturing facility elsewhere, ours is different because it is not a complete plan. It is stage by stage because the machines are innovated, are invented one time or the other. No. We didn't reverse engineer or imported the machines doing it. We built it ourselves.
Using local
technology.
raw material from Nigeria.
For now, we started from the end product by importing solar cells and converting it into solar panel. Now, however, the phase 2 of this program, which is getting appropriate attention of the current administration, with some budgetary provision for it in 2018, is to use local raw material. If I may use this language, I would say to use the sand available in Nigeria to produce the silicon needed to convert into the solar cells, such that by then we will have 95 to 98% local content in our solar product. Our solar panels are in the market in commercial quantity. We have dealers all over the country. And we are proud to say that our own product is of international standard, and over 90% of what is in the market is inferior to our standard because we have laboratory.
Why do you say it's inferior?
Well, we have laboratory facility. We used to go to market at random to buy what is in the market and subject them to our laboratory capacity tests and characterization. And we discovered that majority of what is coming to Nigeria is even overrated. You buy 50 kilowatt panel in the market, 50 watt panel in the market, you test it in the laboratory, you see it's 25 to 30. As a result, several of solar installation in the country is failing. But if we do it for you, like the one we did nationwide for NIDA, National Technology Development Agency, all their rural telecommunication centers across the country are powered by solar panel manufactured and installed by Naseni.
But we all know that in any organization that focuses on research and technology, so for example, a pharmaceutical company does R&D, research and development, and they infuse a lot of money into their research and development. How are you managing the funding? Is this something that you can take up at the National Assembly to assist? Is there something in the Act? How do you cope with getting more funding for your agency?
That is the irony. The truth of the matter is that the country, Nigeria, is yet to commence payment for science and technology compared with the global practices, even compared with some African countries. However, we are glad the current administration is in the process of realizing what we call Research and Innovation Fund for the country that will help in this direction. For Naseni, we go year in, year out, cap in hand, leading from places, and of course, our funding is coming from the annual statutory allocation. Implementation has always been discouraging. Sometimes we even have zero allocation of capital items. Fortunately for us, our Act, since establishment, provide for funding sources. One is industrial levy, a certain percentage of industry, taxes that is collected, to be collected by Federal Inland Revenue, and remit into our fund. The idea of this, industries will benefit from our research. So they should be paying some premium for the services they are to render.
Has that been enacted, or is it something?
It has been in existence, but never implemented.
And how does one implement that?
Now, we are in the process of submitting memos to the board, Chairman, Mr. President, to impose implementation. Because when there is a law, it should be implemented. But since 1992, it has never been implemented. Another component of the Act for funding recognized that due to the importance of science and technology, the fact that it should be the bedrock of economic development, it is specified that 1 to 2% of whatever accrue to the consolidated revenue fund should be for Naseni. These two require a very huge political will to implement. The law is there, but it's never been implemented. So we are confident that with the energy, with the interest, with the support we are receiving from the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology and that of the President, within the lifespan of the current administration, this will be realized. In any case, we have demonstrated, we have innovated several products. In fact, we are anticipating that INEC should use our invented electronic voting solution. Electronic voting solution. Electronic voting solution, we say solution because it's everything from registration process, voting processes.
That was created in Nigeria.
In Naseni, the voting process, collation of the result in real time using cloud computing, so that you can sit in the comfort of your room and be seeing results coming across the nation. If the INEC so wishes, you can see results online, as it is done on. It has been presented to INEC, and a team of Naseni and INEC technical team are working on it. They're giving the time frame and the timetable released by INEC. It means they are not going to use it.
But this is something that is exciting, to be able to develop a voting machine that can actually something that we can be proud of. One more question I want to ask you is, are you working with state government, and how do you collaborate with the governors in terms of driving industrialization in the state?
Okay. There are many states that are working with us. We assist them in rural electrification, in the development of agro-ally industries, in farm implement. We support them in training. We support them in educational equipment, in equipping their school laboratory facilities for education. Many states are collaborating with us.
Are you working with various agencies, for example, Ministry of Trade and Investment, that is really pushing the made in Nigeria products? How do you collaborate with other agencies within the federal government?
We recognize long before that with synergy, everyone will do better than doing things individually. So whatever we are able to innovate, we reach out to them. And we also are interested in looking at what other research and development activities other agencies are doing. In fact, we partner with not only the government agencies, but even private sector to do some research and development activities together as a team. And that is bringing results. We believe in order to encourage, to enhance participation of private sector in benefiting from what we are doing, we should do research together, such that whatever we research and develop at the end of the day is need-oriented and market-driven.
Out of all the products that have been produced under your leadership, which one are you the proudest the most?
The kinetic turbine. Kinetic turbine. The reason is that we go to communities, we put smiles in some rural communities. We go to places where they have never witnessed electricity in their life. Within 20 hours, we install, commission, and you see light everywhere. I will never forget the joy I see in Mada River, in Akwanga local government area of Nasarawa state, how their life transformed tremendously.
How do you drive your workforce when you meet your directors and your staff? How do you motivate them?
The good thing about the workforce in Naseni, they are so much motivated. They are highly elated with the new product. You see, in science and technology, every scientist or engineer is happy to see the result, the performance of his creativity. I told you before that I've been a technician, technology, engineer, manager. So I've gone through all the rank and file. I know the process. So therefore, it is easier for me to guide them, to put them through. And as a result of this, they are also aware that if it is through your suggestion, your work or activities, that something is created, then you are remunerated. And if this goes commercially viable, as an engineer, you can be rich because you have royalties.
That's true.
You have commission from the outcome.
So there's incentive.
Exactly.
And it gives them more self-reliant to be more driven.
Exactly.
Would you say that there are challenges with this industry? Almost being in a leadership role in the last year. What are some of the challenges, and how do you overcome them?
The challenges we are facing, the funding has been tremendously inadequate. It's below average in anywhere. But what sustains us is that we generate IGR for the government, and we are allowed to use certain percentage of the surplus. In fact, this is the secret of our survival, because sometimes we can go 3-4 months without overhead. Also, our solar production has been successful because it is a limited liability company, although 100% owned by government, but then the procedures there, if it were to be waiting for overhead and other recurrent to survive, it would not have been there. So I am happy with the guidance of God that helped me and supported me to seek for approval to convert into this outfit into a limited liability company. I always celebrate that. If not, it would not have been doing what it's doing.
What is your goal for 2018?
In 2018, it is our ambition, it is in the program and work plan of Naseni to see to the commencement of production of power transformers, 100% made in Nigeria.
Wow.
It is also in our dream to ensure that the solar cell manufacturing using sun available in Nigeria commenced in 2018 and completed or in commercial quantity in first quarter of 2019. It is also in our plan to launch in 2018 not only some specialized unmanned area vehicle for surveillance of security, pipeline vandalization, power line vandalization, to assist the relevant agency in doing this, but also to fast track made in Nigeria helicopter.
I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule in educating us and shedding some light on how your agency is helping the Buhari-led administration in diversifying its economy. And I will come back and check with you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.